How are we doing, guys? Welcome back to the Celtic Cast, episode 16 today. It is post Arnold Classic weekend, so I definitely want to delve into some of the results and some of my thoughts and the boys' thoughts on that as well. But first of all, we'll just catch up a little bit and give an update as to where we're at. So, Mike, we'll start with you. How are you feeling today? I know we were literally just talking about this, but
True. We'll repeat again because Mark decided to ignore us for the first 10 minutes. Feeling good, feeling fresh, holding good body weight, like the high 118, early 119s, like haven't breached the 120 yet, but just chatting with our mate as well, Joe, this morning and yesterday, we're going forward and back just about, hitting them high body weights that when you hold it for a while, just how much better sleep gets. Because maybe about 2 weeks ago, like I had a big jump from like 114s to 118s fairly quickly, like in the course of like maybe 10, 11 days, I went up like 3.5, 4 kilos. And then that's when I was suffering with sleep. But I've been holding this weight now about 2.5, 3 weeks. And it's just been like my sleep's better. Mood is good. Energy is good. I had a client over for the, sorry, what?
Do you use a CPAP, Mike?
No. It's something that like I'm open to if needed, but like honestly, I don't need it yet. Like I probably did when I was 120 plus when I lived in Spain with the heat, with all of that. But at the minute, like my sleep quality is great. I'm not waking up feeling, like if you felt like you slept about 6, 7 hours, but you wake up, you're so fatigued. Like that's how I was before. But like right now, I'm not snoring. I'm nodding. Like it's fantastic. But good week. I had a client over, a client friend, Shane. He runs the Pure Gain supplement shop in Ireland as well. We had 3 training sessions. Literally panned him out after the pendulum yesterday. Just wanted to kind of send him to the limit to know where he can go with his training because he's on prep. And we just had a good few days of catch up. I trained, as I think I said to you last week, I trained with Danny on Tuesday. So myself and Danny had a good session as well. So yeah, it's good vibes all around. Can't complain. Feel good, feel fresh. We'll go to Mark next, just because obviously Dara's got a lot because he was in a different country. He can inform us on the gym, so we'll let Mark go for any bombs. No bombs hitting you now, anyway. You're safe. You don't have an AK-47 out your window protecting the country.
You're on mute, Mark.
There we go, boys. I'm back. Apparently, they had they said like they wouldn't bomb any of the like surrounding countries like that aren't doing anything to them. So hopefully that's kind of the end of any troubles. Not that there's been any trouble in the first place, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'm good. I'm holding around like in the 128s, so kind of holding like high 128s, low hovering around. So happy with that. We pulled things back end of the off season yesterday, Friday, because I'm at a point now where I feel like it's like a point of diminishing returns where like even sleep, everything, like really good routine, everything's bang on, but just being heavy, it's just taking that hit. And I'm just like, I almost feel like the look almost starts to get worse. And I feel like I'm not jumping forward as much because that sleep now is starting to dip. Yeah. And I know it's so like we've been pushing a long time. Like blood's running around in a good position, but I'm like, look, let's pull back while we've got the most out of it. Because I know one cycle comes out, a lot of inflammation, a lot of toxicity comes off. You drop a bit of water, sleep improves straight away. So
you can almost like extend your progression when you actually do call it at the right time and you go into a cruise. Everything improves.
Fully. I mean, it's like I feel like now that I'm not going into a health phase, I feel like that like I'm going into another block of progression because I know that like when I wake up in the morning, even today, I said, geez, I feel a bit fresher. You know, I mean, just mentally as well. And
I think for people who maybe aren't as experienced, this is something that you should realize, guys, because a lot of guys, especially early on, they think, I'm going into a cruise now, so I won't be making as much progress. And, maybe you'll take the foot off the gas in terms of how committed you are with your diet or with certain things. But if you do it correctly, you should actually step forward quite a lot on a cruise. I actually find the first 5-6 weeks back on cycle to be the worst because, like, when you're on cruise, the drugs are slowly clearing. When you go back on cycle, it's like they're slowly building. And I think when they are slowly clearing, you're feeling better as the weeks progress. And I always make great progress on my cruises. Sometimes I kind of think, fuck, I just cruised for like 3 months there. But then gets to 6 weeks in and I'm like, nah.
So, yeah, so like I'm going into this cruise now being like, I'm excited. I know I can still progress. And it's like a game. It's like, right, I'm going to do everything to at the end of this cruise to like look pretty much the same. And then that is going to be a great starting position for a prep.
Definitely. And will that mean prep can start a bit earlier than now? Because like, weren't you on about saying the end of March into April? You were going to call it first.
So what date is it? It's the start.
It was 8th March.
So I estimate that prep will begin the back end of April. Like I reckon maybe like 6 weeks in this. We'll see. But I reckon back end of April will be good to start the prep. And then I sent over shows to him the other day, and there's loads of shows in August, going into September, going into October.
Yeah.
And depending on when we start it, I may start shows in August and then finish up in September, or we'll see. But there's a few interesting shows around August. Like there's Romania, there's Austria, there's South Korea. So like, there's a few cool ones that I'd like to
take off.
After being in Lithuania for a week, I'd love to do the Romania show. Honestly, I was very impressed with the country as a whole. So like, I really enjoyed it over there. So now it has me, I really want to go to Poland. I really want to like see some of those other countries as well, because I think there's a big show in Poland too. I think like some of those shows could be mega. The Romania show is a big show as well. That's like a flagship show. That's like if you qualify, you go straight to the Olympia.
Yeah.
So it's a big production, and I think it's a pretty good show.
Yeah,
I've had a client do that show before. I think 2022 was the Wins of Strength in Romania, and it's crazy. Like the production, like just all the shots they were in the backstage, everything in the setup. And obviously, since now it's probably even better now, 3-4 years later.
I think it's Dan Solomon's show, isn't it? Or is it Jake Wood? It's one of them.
That's what it is, because it's an automatic qualification.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember Romania for was I remember Meg went over. I think Kerry was competing, and she fucking got her bag robbed at the airport.
Meg did?
Yeah, so like she was waiting for her bag to come out, and somebody'd already gone off with it.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, she never got it back.
That's why you put an air
gypsies, buy your Romanian gypsies. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
The stereotype is fucking real.
Stereotypes, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's me. I'm good. Everything's
rosy.
Yeah, Dara.
Good stuff.
Oh, actually, one thing that's not good is obviously my brother and sister can't come over now. They're meant to come over like over this. Well, they can, but they don't feel too comfortable, coming over. So I understand that.
A similar thing happened with Chloe's mom. Chloe's mom and her younger sister, they're meant to go over to Australia to visit Chloe's uncle over there. And like she got offered, right, you can get a full refund, $2,500 for this flight, or you could basically chance your arm. But there's a lot of Irish people who've kind of gotten stuck over in Doha and similar airports, and they have to pay their own way home. That's far away. Yeah. She just didn't risk it. She just took the refund, which is a shame, but
as well, I think, you know what, right? I think if you were flying right now, it actually would be pretty scary, because at the moment, when you're flying from Dubai, there's fighter jets flying either side of you.
Yeah.
When you're flying, that's crazy.
That's kind of cool though, as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So you're looking out the window and there's a jet beside you, like protecting you.
It's mad, isn't it?
I definitely want some serious Xanax for one of those flights anyway, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Right, Eric, go on.
Right.
I just rocked back on the UK yesterday. Got back very early. Actually, the travel was like super good, because like I flew out of Liverpool Airport and into Kunes Airport, and both airports are like Cork Airport. You walk in, it's one room, you drop your bag off, you go straight through security. Super small airports. So both times, when I landed in Cahunas and I came out, my bag was already on front of me in the conveyor belt. Same thing on the way back. So I got in and out of the airport really, really quickly. So when I landed home yesterday, flight landed in 25 minutes early, got out to my car, 7:10, got home 9:05 here. So I was stuck in unreal. So I was back super early yesterday morning. Well, like I was up at 1:58 a.m. UK time yesterday. I still feeling a little bit of tiredness, but yeah, Lithuania was good, lads. After I spoke to you last week, I had upper lower, and I was meant to have upper lower again, but I didn't do the second leg day because I was feeling pretty fucking smashed. I was meant to train legs today, and I just ended up calling that off as well because I was still fucked. It's frustrating. Yeah, I knew you were going
to game for that one, yeah.
Yeah, and then that's why it's stressing me out. It's really frustrating me because I'm just, I was really stressed today, being like, I want to fucking go. I really want to go to train and I want to go to the gym, but I just know I'm going to be fucked. I was just forcing it. And I was just getting stressed about wanting to go and feeling like I had to go. And this is what normally buries me into a hole and makes things worse for myself. So I was like, look, I don't really have any time to waste for now until the remainder of prep. I can't be fucking around. So if I just keep fucking driving myself into the ground, I'm just not gonna ever get going, because I feel like I'm 6 weeks in and I haven't even really got going, you know. So yeah, we literally deloaded, and then I was back in push pull legs, and then I was resting as push pull legs again, and then I had to travel, then I had upper lower, and now it's fucking basically I have to take 4 days off again, like. So it's a fucking pain in the hole, but look, it is what it is.
What it is,
Isn't it crazy how much travel impacts things?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Because I was just kind of, I don't want to say fresh off the deload, but I was just back off the deload and did 3 sessions, and then I traveled straight away the day after. So it's probably a little bit premature. And I knew when I took that deload anyway, I kind of took it a little bit later. And sometimes it can go either way. But normally for me, it happens to me at least once or twice a year. I just fucking get myself into a hole that takes me 2-3 weeks to get out of, man. And it's fucking the most frustrating thing ever, because progress is just so, or progress feels so slow during those times.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I did have a new low this morning, so it's 108.3. So that is a new prep low. So body weight did come down a nice bit, come down 1.2 kg from start of the week to the end of the week this week. So it's moving, like things are moving the right direction. I'll take my check-in photos here now tomorrow, which would be interesting to see, because I haven't taken them in that check-in spot in 2 weeks. Obviously, I took them over in Lithuania and they were looking pretty decent, but you have to compare them obviously to where you're used to taking them. So see how things are looking tomorrow. But yeah.
Are you not moving? Like, so you're no travel, no nothing. You've got a good stint now for the rest of prep.
I mean, like for the next 2 months, I've got no plans. Like my calendar is clear, which is good, right? Because May, June, July, August, September, October, I'm traveling every single month.
Yeah.
And multiple times in multiple countries. So like it's going to be a hectic end to the year. Like I have to go to Ireland 3, potentially 4 times. I have to go to Spain. I want to go over there once. Might have to go over and back, but I'll probably just go over there once. Have to go to Spain. Might be going to Portugal, all things dependent. And I'm thinking about going to New York for my 30th birthday as well. After prep. Right after prep. So right after prep, before the reta goes in, big binge in New York for 4 or 5 days. It's going to be mega.
40 pounds up, 5 days. We're here for it.
Yeah. Over in fucking Bev's gym, rolling around.
Darren,
So,
I'm 30 as well this year. We should go do something.
Mate, we should. You should. Go do something just pure like opposite of what people would expect us to do. We can't do a skydive or a bungee jump or anything like that, Mark.
Yeah, be.
You know what we'll do, right? When you come out, you'll come here, but then I'll also go to wherever you go if you're going anywhere, and then when we come here, we'll go like to the desert and do buggies and stuff.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I will be there in October anyway, for sure, Mark.
Perfect.
For sure. Yeah.
That'd be good, because I'll probably just finish shows as well. So
yeah, it'll be my first time over in Dubai as well, so I want to get the full experience. Obviously, I'd probably have to do a couple of admin bits over there as well, but it'll be good, because I feel like end of the year, that time, October, will it be just getting a little bit cooler at that time, or will it still be warm? That's a good time to go, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
It'll be 30s, wouldn't it? Still early 30s.
Yeah.
So
you'll still find it hot, but nowhere near what the summer is.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of been good that the last summer in the UK in particular anyway was super fucking warm, so at least over there they have aircon, because even my house here, like when I come in from the gym in the evening times, I can be sitting there in a tank top, like, and I'm just freshly showered, and then 2 minutes later I'm just sweating profusely, so I'm not looking forward to that. Fucking hell.
It's like you're like Martin Fitzwater on Friday night. Sweating everywhere.
Stop, boys. Stop. Before I go on my fucking rant about that anyway, I'm going to get your thoughts and opinions. So first of all, like, just kind of blanket opinion on the results of the shows themselves. Like, did you think it was a fair call? Did you see it going that way? What are your thoughts on the show overall? And then we can kind of start you know, talking about some of the other
Some of
stuff.
the bits. Like we'll start. We're talking about open bodybuilding, so people know what we're on about.
Like you can touch off classic as well if you want.
We can cover all, but like obviously the main area where the talk and conversation will be around open bodybuilding. So if we're looking at open, when we looked at the prejudging, I would have had Nick winning, like lights out on the prejudging. Did you see the scorecards? I seen the scorecards about an hour ago.
Yeah.
So like that.
Yeah,
So they had Andrew jacked first in prejudging and first in finals, like clear win, like straight wins, which I don't agree with. Hadi, like I would have had it like Nick, I would have had Andrew, Hadi, then I would have had Brandon Curry, and then I would have had Martin Fitzwater in line with Rafael Brandao. Like it would have been.
I would have had Mo Fuda ahead of Rafa. Rafa did not look good at that show, man. And like, you know, he had a year off because of some gut issues, but he looks the same.
Soft.
He had Mo Fuda gained like 6 kg of muscle, and it looked like that. He looked really good. His back is still a bit weak, but from the front, he's incredible. And the side, he's pretty decent as well. So I thought he should have edged ahead of Rafa personally, but you know.
What did you see, Mark? Did you see a Nick win, like, or a Nick prejudging win?
Prejudging, I thought like it was, well, it's right. Let's preface it that we're not there watching it. So watching it through a screen.
Yeah.
So that's always different. But from what we could see, I thought it was like a clear Nick win in prejudging. Like I didn't
that as well.
I didn't think there was any like doubt. And then Hadi looked like a different person in finals. And then Andrew was better as well. So it was a lot tighter in finals. But I think overall it was, look, I'm a Nick fanboy. I'm very biased. But when you sit back and look at it, I think it was the right call for Andrew to win. It's just,
it's the aesthetic physique of Andrew, whereas like Nick, like the thing is Nick was consistent through both prejudging and finals. Like it was a very similar look across both. Andrew, like we said, came back a lot better. Hadi came back on. Nick was just consistent. So I thought Nick would have had it from prejudging that he would have necked it on points over Andrew. That was kind of my thought, because it was close kind of moving in.
It's such a tough one though, because like I kind of flip-flop on my opinion on this all the time. And I think this is why a lot of bodybuilding fans are very confused with what they see. And this is why people have such differing opinions on it, because like when I think of bodybuilding and I think of Mr. Olympia, I think of Andrew Jacked, right? You know what I mean? So like, yeah, he might not be as crazy or conditioned or whatever, but it is true what everyone says. He's got that wow factor, that X factor. Like, it's like, if you want to look like anyone, guys, let's be real here. You're looking like Andrew. Big, tall, huge muscle bellies, crazy shape. That is like the best physique on the planet, right? It's beautiful, right? It's just like, that's what bodybuilding should be about, in my opinion. Like, I think aesthetics should be placed above all else, in my opinion, right? When it comes to bodybuilding, right? But like, there is still a criteria, and like, I do like kind of think the best man should win on the day, sort of a thing. And again, like Mark said, I thought it was clear Nick lights out at the prejudging. I was like, whoa. I actually thought Nick was so good that I was like, everyone else is off here. I was like, everyone else has shot the bed and Nick is just on. And I was like, this is crazy. Finals, it was much closer, all right, but I thought he would have done enough to win. And I think I said this, as I said, we were speaking about it in Kuba's group chat as well. Like, I wanted Nick to win, and I thought he kind of had done enough to win, but are they going to give it to him? Because if they do, they're setting a precedent, and they're not going to set that precedent. They're basically putting their foot down and saying, this is the look we're going for. Like, this is what trumps all else. You gotta be beautiful, basically. Like, they're just not, it's a shame. He's never going to win Mr. Olympia now. He's probably never going to win another Arnold again unless Samson or Andrew doesn't do it, because he's just not pretty enough.
Yeah, like if they come in off, if they're off, like you saw in prejudging, he wins. But they have to come off. I think this is where it comes. People have to realize that, like, how genetics plays such a big part in terms of like what can Nick do to improve? Honestly, yeah, he was perfect.
Yeah.
Well, what can he do to improve? Like, he can. The thing is, I know people say control his midsection between poses, but he done a very fucking good job.
He did.
He's just so fucking big. So, literally, I don't think he could have been better, or he can be better. It's just hoping now that they can fall off a little bit so he can creep in.
I think like he is always, as long as he's competing, I actually think he's always going to be up there in that top 5, top 6. Like I can't ever really see him, unless he has a really bad showing. Like I can't ever see him being out that, because he is the epitome of maximizing what you have genetics wise, right? He's fucking big. He's always crazy conditioned. He's got that freak factor. But again, like at the Olympia when he was 6, you put him in a lineup with guys who all have good waists, all pull crazy vacuums, etc. He is the odd one out, and it just goes against him so badly. So yeah, I think he's kind of come to realize that as well. I think he's accepted the fact that, like, right, look, they're just not going to let me win here, sort of thing.
No,
or at least
he took it very well as well. Like, you know, like that's what we have to take is the sportsmanship of it. Like, because he probably thought, you know, when he won the most muscular award before, it was probably that look. He kind of looked a little bit like when they were calling between first and second, you could see that he was thinking it probably could have been him, but like the way he took it was great. And then obviously now we have to look at the other person who I was a big fanboy of until I woke up this morning, was Martin Sitwater. Whereas I'm going to say it first, I unfollowed him this morning. I don't know if any of you did, just for the fact that what I look at that aspect as well is it just puts a really bad look on like say people who are not into bodybuilding.
Sour taste in everyone.
But you know, people like talk about like roid rage and what steroids do. Like it eats into that stereotypical aspect of roid rage, or of someone being a prick who's taken steroids, that literally, like, he came across, wouldn't shake hands. Then when Nick gets called second, starts cheering and jumping around the place, like, it just gives that kind of stereotype that people like us are pricks because we're using testosterone. That's what I kind of looked at it from an outside perspective as well. That, like, I was trying to look at it from, I don't know, like, no bodybuilding. If I seen that, I go, oh, he's just a roid head fucking idiot.
It's just the principle thing. I think, like, I've always just been like a man of principles, right? I hope that doesn't sound pure cringy, right? But there's, like, you have to have, like, values, you have to have principles. And, like, you can absolutely hate someone, that's fine. But in a competition, you lose, you shake the person's hand and you move on with it. Like, it's just part of competition and it's part of sportsmanship. And, like, not only did he blank him and not shake his hand, right? That's bad enough. But then to, like, be so visibly excited and happy when Andrew bet him, like, it was just so petty, so pathetic. And I think, like, that just really, like, put the nail in the coffin waiting for me. Like, that's outrageous. Like,
but what we've seen as well is, you know, when Ronnie was coming out to give Nick the second place medal, Martin was standing there looking across where Nick was and just smiling. Like, he was just looking across, smiling, because, like, Nick is going to be standing beside him. So you could see that, like, he
shoved him backstage as well. Nick confirmed it. So he shoved him and he was cursing at him backstage. Now, look, I don't know, did Nick say something smart to him to try and rile him up or something like that?
But he doesn't seem the type to do that either, Nick. Like, Nick is very professional.
Well, lads, like, never celebrate a man's loss. It's it's the lowest of the low.
It is very
because we've all been low. We've all had losses. You're going to have plenty more losses. You know what it feels like to take losses. Why would you celebrate someone else losing?
Just shows his true character.
But it's weak, man. It completely, like, it doesn't matter how big or how much muscle you have. You're weak-minded.
Yeah, it's not male behavior. It's not male behavior.
You know,
like, not at all. And, like, even what he did is, do you see the Instagram story he put up, like, do not message me or congratulate me, I'm going off social media, my worst. Pure throwing his toys, like, out of his pram, like, being a pure bitch, like, being a pure woman about it. Like,
you know, the thing is as well, it's like all the flack he got off the bodybuilding media, right? And everyone said, he's immature, he's this and he's that, and he can't control his emotions, whatever. And he just goes and proves every single one of them right. And, like, here's the thing, okay? Like, I don't want to, like nobody, like, you don't want to actively hate on people, right? Like, it's not good to hate on people. And people say, if you're hating on them, you're just jealous, etc., right? By Martin do this, I'll be completely honest, right? By Martin doing that and being so happy with Nick's loss like that, right? And him basically preying on his downfall. Now at the next show, if Martin has a bad show, and I'm going to be like, yes. Honestly, truthfully, I'm going to be like, fuck you, Martin. You fucking pathetic cunt. That's what you get. That's what you get. That's karma. Like,
The thing is,
everybody is going to be praying on his downfall now. Like, so what the fuck?
we, I want to like him.
So
we don't
do I.
want to.
Yeah,
we-
we
so
can't
we-
anymore. Like,
we-
I
we-
love his physique. His physique is whopper. He's got the fucking craziest physique ever. He's got a Mr. Olympia worthy physique, right?
It's nothing to do with physique. It's morals.
yeah,
The last Olympia we were at as well, Mark. Remember when he came out and we were like, fuck. We were like, he's pushing Derek here. He was standout of the show. We were like, he looks absolutely crazy. And like me and Mark were speaking to each other. We're like, oh, I'm buzzing for Martin. So happy for Martin, right? And I remember I met him at the Arnolds in 2022, right? I remember after that show, you know, he made a couple of comments. He made a couple of racist comments that got out, and you know, he was a little bit immature in that scenario, etc. He went away for 2 years. He went into his off season. He came back, and it was like he'd matured, right? He'd like come out and he kind of gotten over himself, and he was much better. And he got a couple of his sponsors back that he lost, and etc. etc. But now this just goes to show that like he didn't really mature at all. It's just that when he was winning, everything was going great for him, and the second he fucking loses, he can't take it. So the same thing happened when he thought Chris was beating him at Prague. He was fucking
oh, he was
going
free.
mad.
But like, as I said, like, lost a follower. Like, I know it's not going to impact him, but like, I unfollowed him. I won't watch his YouTube anymore. Like, it's just little bits, because he would have been stuff I've been watching a good bit. Like, I liked his
I
YouTube.
watch his YouTube movement. I watch a lot of Martin Fitzgerald, but you know what? I'll be honest with you guys. He's fucking painful to watch. He's like a big baby. He's like a big child, isn't he? Even the way he speaks. You're high pitched. He's like something out of Toy Story. I'm sorry, that's going to sound pure harsh, but like,
Tommy,
actually fair painful to watch as it is
Yeah.
anyway. So look,
But you know, even riding more, as much as I did get a good laugh out of like the memes coming around when people on his name, like Martin, like salt water, Martin,
yeah.
sweats water. Like, I did get a
Oh,
laugh.
I seen a good one. What was it? It's like post show meal, Wah burger and fries, or what was it? Wah burger and cries. That's what it was.
Oh gosh, yeah. Look,
Yeah, it's quick with that.
one positive thing from it. Did you see Andrew's interview? No,
after, yeah.
mate.
Mm.
You hear it, just like this guy. They chose the right winner, because it was Dave Palumbo, and he was like, Dave was like, 750 grand. Like, it's a good paycheck. He was like, no, it's not. And he was like, for bodybuilding, it's good, but it's not a lot of money. He was like, waking up every day is the real wealth. And then he was like, later in the interview, he was like, I give most of my money to charity anyway, so this is nothing to me. And then he was like, he still works as an electrical engineer. So that's his. Dave was like, is this still a hobby to you? He was like, yeah. He was like, it's only my hobby. I have a full-time job, and that comes first. He was like, like in the off season and stuff, if I have a call out at 2 a.m. in the morning, like I'm there. Crazy.
It is like for that level of
And look, that just goes to show you guys genetics.
yeah.
Let's not forget as well, right? Who said this? I think it was Jay Cutler said this in one of those Dave Palumbo's interviews. This guy is only on the circuit with like the last 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean?
3 years.
Like 4 years ago, he was just making YouTube videos with Larry Wheels. He was just like an influencer dude. You know, he's only really copped on and locked it in now the last fucking year or so with the bodybuilding. And like, look, and the thing is, he's 42 years old. So like, didn't he just do this 20 years ago? Like, you know what I mean?
That's the thing.
Imagine like, and imagine how many other guys there are out there that have Andrew Jack genetics that don't bodybuild. I always think like this.
Oh, without a doubt.
You ever see those pictures of those dudes in Nigeria who train with like literally just cement
Oh, the
weights,
cement blocks and the
and they're all
cartons.
out of their mind, like, and they're
Yeah.
probably alcohol and they don't take any drugs and they just look nuts.
Mm. They won the genetic lottery. Given that.
Yeah, I thought that was a big letdown. I thought, guys, it just looks really bad, and I think the whole bodybuilding community is all just kind of like, what are you doing, Martin? Like, this is like he's after putting his career in the Swanee, I think, there, like, in his
But it's not to the same level. But remember when Hadi walked off?
yeah,
Right.
that was emotion though, but
So
Yeah, that was emotion, but like he came back, like, he did come back from that. But
that's something I was going to touch on there.
mm,
With that, okay, I was okay with that. If Martin stood there, right, he, clapped for everyone, shook everyone's hands, but like he took his medal off him because he was frustrated. That's okay. You're allowed to be upset in sports. You know what I mean? But I think it's the whole thing of.
you're not allowed to disrespect your competitors.
Disrespect, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like we all do the same thing. We all work hard. We all love bodybuilding. We all go through really tough preps. We all give absolutely everything, right? So have that mutual respect for each other. Everybody wants to win. Look, everybody wants to win, but like you can't act like that. Like, do you know what I mean? You just can't. He's the fella now. Like, I don't want to say he shouldn't be bodybuilding because look, the fella has some of the best genetics in the world, right? Loading the fella that came up with drugs and pushing him into a prep and sending his head sideways like that. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck.
But you know, the way to look at it with people like him is, if that's what he acts like on camera, what's he like off camera? Like, what's he like in a home scenario? What's he like if he's like that?
I've heard one or two stories, so he's even worse, not the exact same.
You know what I would love though? If he really went away and was like, you know what? I understand, you know, I have a lot of work to do, and he'd done the work and came back a completely different person.
I'm going to say one thing now. He won't, because apparently he already done that. He's nearly 30 years of age, right? He's like, what, a year too younger than us, Mark, right? At this stage for him, I think it's too late. I don't think he will change, to be honest.
Sad to say, but
For me, I can't see him. I can't see him changing. I think he's just a fucking retard. So he's lost.
You're getting blocked.
Mate, no. Here, listen. I'm just not afraid to say the harsh fucking truth without trying to beat around the bush and be PC, right? I'm not PC. I'm not taking the diplomatic way of saying things. I'm just literally saying exactly how I think it. And that's how I always will fucking say it, right? Like, yeah, I can say the PC on the fence. Oh, but what if someone takes offense to this or that way of saying it? Nah, man, fuck that. I'm just going to say it how I'm just going to say how I think it. Like,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
look,
I don't really think that deep of it. I'm just like, yeah, what he done was wrong, but I'm just like,
yeah, I know.
it is like, yeah, he done it. He's a fucking idiot. Let's get on with it. So, Classic, here we go. Wesley and Mike Summerfield missing ice.
And do you know what? I'm so disappointed that Mike missed the weight because I think it would have been a great show. And do you know what, right? I was slating Wesley heading into the show, but I had my doubts about Wesley. And like, I didn't think he was going to bring the improvements that he did. But fuck me, lads.
He fucking
Wesley went away. He went to work. He proved us all wrong. He did what he should have done a long time ago and just done a proper off season. He blew his legs up. He blew his fucking lats up as well.
Yeah.
And back, right? He made progress everywhere. When he first came out, I said, are his legs even up at all? Because I thought his upper looked so much bigger. But he looked mega. He looked really fucking good.
He packaged that of what he did.
And he actually, his legs looked just as big, if not bigger than Menegate's from the front. And I was like, fuck, because I know Menegate is really, really good, right? So I was very, very impressed with Wesley, and I'm sickened we didn't see him with Mike and Santinelli. Am I pronounced that correctly? Yeah, so I was disappointed, you know, that we're missing two really good guys from that classic lineup. But I think it creates more hype now going into the Olympia. And if Wesley shows up to the UK Arnolds, then
yeah.
Because
Wesley's definitely the one to try next week.
Okay.
So I think he's in for the Arnold as well.
He loves competing. He'll do them all.
Way he'll do it. Yeah.
So that'll be pretty cool. Obviously, Mike will have to suck down now another 7 pounds. For the Arnold.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it will be. I kind of feel for Mike because I'm like, I just think the dude, he's gone past the point, I think, of being able to get down to that cap, I think.
You know, I just want to see him take off now.
Exactly. Just get massive, bro. Do 212.
Errors on it. He just needs to do the errors and just fucking send it.
Orr's actually, Orr's pulled his prep.
Yeah.
I think that's more so him and his missus actually broke up there about 2 months ago. So I think there's some personal things there as well. But like, I think he is probably better off just, you know, I think he's moving house soon and stuff as well. I was watching a podcast with him and Stefan. So look, I think he's better off just fucking like keeping his head in the right spot, making improvements, keep building this physique. He's still young, and then coming back next year and doing those big shows. Because like, he has so much hype coming off the back of him now. If he's doing a prep where he's kind of not really fully there this year, and then he shows up to New York and Pittsburgh and like it doesn't go his way, like it could just, you know,
take more time off.
He's better off being patient, I think. Yeah, for sure. It's a shame, as I love seeing him on stage. He really puts on a show and he performs and he poses well, and I think he brings a lot to a show. But yeah, it's disappointing that he pulled out. Oh, also guys, apparently Hadi is retired. Now, I didn't believe it at first when I seen it in a couple of spots, but Milos posted it there 2 hours ago. And like, if Milos is posting that, it must be fucking legit. So
It's kind of a thing that it could be like, this, he might not do anything for months and then he could just like 8 weeks out from the Olympia, just be like, I'm back in, or 10 weeks out. But you don't know, like it could be because like, as we said, when he walked off at the Olympia, like, it's just an emotional reaction because obviously all the stress that he's going through, everything that's going on as well, that who knows, like it'd be sad to see, but
it would. But like, here's the thing, like I said to Chloe, right? Chloe's like, nah, he's just saying that he'll come back, whatever. But like, he competed kind of for like the glory of Iran, and he competed to like represent his country and stuff. And now they all fucking hate him and they're out to get his head. So I think he's just going to go into hiding and he's just going to be like, right, I'm done. See you later.
yeah,
We'll see, because he has the UK visa for a few weeks. So we'll see if he turns up there.
that's it. Like,
True. I'd love
Yeah.
to see Nick come and do the UK ends, to be honest, because otherwise Andrew's just going to smoke it.
walk away with it.
I hope he does the Troy
Yeah.
next week.
That would, he told Fuad already he's not doing it, but
Things can change quickly.
yeah, I wonder what Martin will do now.
Yeah, man. I don't think he'll do anything.
Yeah.
I think he'll put his head down and go back to work.
So I think he'll just
He'd after now, I'd say.
he'll go into hiding now. Yeah.
It's I love to see Nick after going through so much, just coming back and just.
There's the difference as well, Mark, because like Nick got more fucking hate nearly than Martin. Nick got some hate there, right? When he in between that New York show and for like a whole year, constant hate, Nick Talker in his comments, hate, right? And he shows up and still gets bad results, and like he still just puts his head down, goes back to work, and comes back better. And it doesn't seem to affect him in the same way. Obviously, it affects him, but he can just deal with it better. He's more mature in how he deals with it. And then like Martin, like, is just volatile as fuck, like,
I think that's why he is. I think that's why we all respect him so much. I want to see him do well because we can relate to him because everyone goes through shit. So when you see somebody going through something and just fucking bouncing back, we can almost we get like inspiration.
Respect.
Yeah.
It's a champion mindset.
Yeah.
What Martin does is not a champion's mindset. It's a sore loser, So that's why I've never been a fan of Nick's physique. To be honest, I've never really been that much of a fan of Nick as a person. But I fucking respect him a lot, and I actually love to see the comeback and people bouncing back from setbacks. Like, you know what I mean? I've seen an interesting question actually on the Engineered Muscle podcast there earlier, and it was, what do you think is an underrated trait of a bodybuilder? And one that I thought of was the ability to deal with setbacks, right? And we could say this about even just lifestyle clients, right? The ones who really make progress long term, and the ones who don't is like, if you get an injury or, you get sick or anything happens that disrupts your progress, your ability to bounce back from that and be mentally resilient is such an undervalued trait, right? Just that overall resilience to deal with things that don't go your way, things that are outside of your control.
Great topic.
No, it really is. And like even what I would have said to you when I did my last show and I literally got the vomiting bug, getting sick, and my worst ever showing I ever did, wasn't comfortable on stage. Like, I went away and literally pissed off about it, but it was kind of the thing where I bounced myself back. Like, I could have went into food, I could have went into hiding, I could have went, fuck this bodybuilding, I came back to this now and this is what I have to deal with. Whereas like I conducted myself through the off season, like the last 16, 18 weeks, in the best position I've been in because I didn't let emotion take over. And that's what we're going to see there as well. Like, we're all going to go through that. We're all going to have like adversity. Like, we're going to have times where results don't go our way and stuff. And like I just said, lifestyle clients, things might not go their way. It's how we bounce back and how we control our emotion around them decisions that we have.
I think this is actually, this is a really good topic. This is, I think this is life in general. And so the way I look at things, right, is the only difference between maybe someone who maybe isn't achieving what they want, and then when that person looks at somebody who's like, fuck, they're achieving a lot. The only difference between them two people is the speed at which you get back up and bounce back. Because you do not have a heart, as in like nobody else has it lucky. Everyone goes through shit. Everyone goes through bad shit. And the only difference is, don't think no one else is. The only difference is they're bouncing back and they're able to still process it and deal with it, but not let it deter them or pull them back down. When shit pulls them down, they're still just taking small steps forwards while dealing with that. Whereas people who may not be where they want to be, something takes them down and they just hold on to it and they just let it drag them down and they won't step forwards in any way. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's a good thing now because like I got onto it now because of what Dara said at the last podcast, and like an example of a person like that would have been I watched Gordon Ramsay on Netflix, and remember the scene where he has like the restaurant like each week costs him $100,000, and he's told there's an
$100,000 a week.
$100,000 a week, and he's told there's an 8-week delay, and he's literally on the phone, and he puts the phone down, and he's like, "Fuck's sake, fuck," and he's angry for literally 10 seconds, takes a deep breath, and goes, "Okay, what's next?"
Yeah. And he just cracks it on. And he just does. And he's got this mad busy schedule. He just goes, right, what's next on the list? And he just does it, boy. And he does it at such a like good level. And he still shows up for people. He's good with the fans. He's enthusiastic. And he's just boom, 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 boom. And this fella's like 58 years old. And he's just like boom, 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 boom.
True. And like I took a lot from that. Like that scene alone when he was told like he's going to lose 800 grand of his own money on that. And he literally just had 10 seconds of being annoyed and was just like, what, brushed it off. And then it's like, okay, my daughter's wedding, that's important. Okay, this restaurant for the Formula One will do this. Like, it was just...
Man, there was so many little gems and so many little takeaways from that.
Oh, it really was.
There really, really was. I thought that would have to be fantastic. So if anyone hasn't watched it, guys, definitely get on it.
There was a podcast a few weeks ago when we were talking about kind of what we like to do, maybe not bodybuilding wise, and I said, I like watching stuff and studying high achievers.
Yeah.
So that goes for the Gordon Ramsay documentary, because literally by looking at people who are high in what they do, just if you just open your eyes and your ears, you can literally just learn things for life. And you're like, whoa, this is how this person thinks and operates. So when you do that, like every day, or like, you're taking things from, listening and watching people are ahead of you, that is a fucking like life hack.
Yeah. And I think when you look at people like that as well, like I've seen a reel as well, right? And it was a guy comparing Gordon Ramsay and Andrew Tate, right? And this guy said, I actually like Andrew Tate's content, etc., but for me, he's not a good role model. For me, Gordon Ramsay is someone I like to look up to, because he's basically an example. This guy's been married to his wife for 30 years. He's a family man. He's focused on his kids, like all this other sort of stuff, right? And like there's somebody else who I actually look up to quite a lot, who I think about like this as well. LeBron James, right? LeBron James, my opinion, greatest basketball player of all time. He's been with his wife since he's 18 years old, right? He's like, does everything for his kids. Massive family man. He's never been involved in any scandals with fucking strippers or drugs or like any of that bollocks, right? And even now, he's the oldest player in the NBA and he's spending millions on his recovery. He's like showing up to training early, all this other sort of stuff. It's like he has broken every single record in the book almost. But like he still holds himself to such a high standard and operates at such a high level after 23 years in the league. It's just like, how is this guy doing this? But it's just like,
it's great. It's great to see like that. And even when you're saying with the Gordon Ramsay thing, like he did say in the documentary that he probably wasn't around enough with his, like, with 3 older kids. And he said when he had the two that are younger now, he said he knew he made a mistake. So he's not going to do that anymore. Like, like it's him taking accountability for where he knows he can be better. And that's where a lot of people will struggle, that they won't take their own accountability of what they can do better. Like, so it's been fantastic. And like I said, LeBron James, obviously if we go into football, we can say Cristiano Ronaldo, we can say all them, like, people that are in their 40s, like Cristiano Ronaldo being 41 or 2 and literally goes to training 2 hours early like that.
Him and LeBron are the same age.
Yeah, like they're 41 or some going on 42, and both of them are in, like, they're both 23 years at the top level, and they're more dedicated than people that are in their mid-20s coming up that kind of way. And like, if you look in from a football perspective, that people, because like I watch a bit of like football, Wayne Rooney versus Cristiano Ronaldo, like Cristiano Ronaldo is 2 years older and Wayne Rooney looks like he's 60, completely out of shape. you wouldn't even realize he was a professional footballer. Do you know that kind of way? Whereas like just shows the levels. Conduct yourself to that high standard if we hold ourselves to it. So like there's so many good people to look up to.
A lot to be said for ownership and accountability and personal responsibility, isn't there?
I know, and a lot of people will just shy away from it, or it's not my problem. Why me? Why did this happen to me? Or why does the world hate me?
Victim mindset.
Victim, yeah, just get on with
Any
it.
other, while we're on the topics, and to bring it back to bodybuilding a little bit, any other underrated traits of bodybuilders? One they said, which I think actually isn't an underrated trait. I think it's probably the one most important trait of being a bodybuilder that the lad said in the podcast is organizational skills. I try and say this to people all the time. People with bad organizational skills are just destined to just fucking make no progress, right? How organized do you have to be when you're a bodybuilder, like the meals and the this and that and the
I
whatever.
know.
Getting to bed at the right time, like the simple basic shit, right? But any other underrated traits, like underrated of bodybuilding, what do you reckon? Bodybuilder.
I have a good one, which again can be taken into life as well.
Yeah.
Go.
Blame yourself and everything. So
It's
what I mean
great.
by that is, if right, let's say I get to the end of the week, right, and I'm like, I take my pictures and I'm like, fuck, you know, I'm not too happy with these. I think I could have made more progress. I don't try and make excuses, and I don't turn to Cuba and, you know, say, Cuba, like, you know, what now? First thing I think of is, what the fuck can I do better? Like, what can I do right now to be better than last week that I didn't do good enough? Does that make sense?
It
So
does.
your ability to look inwards and constantly think, how can I get better? Rather than like, look, just being honest with yourself and being like, did I really do things how I needed to? And if you dig deep, every day you'll be able to find something small that you will be able to do better. And if you're doing that every day, it's just growth.
It's that 1%, as you said, like it's that deep off season, like where you want to get lazy, when you want to stay in bed that extra hour. Like, as you said, like for us, like discipline is probably the highest thing that we need, is to be able to keep our routines, keep our schedule. Again, as Dara said, like organizational skills, like, yeah, it's not really a trick. It's expected. Like that's expected within bodybuilding, like have all them things that, like, I can't think off my head anything that's like kind of
I think, right, one, and I'm going to kind of speak from my own perspective, right, because I tend to be a little bit neurotic at times and overthink and stress too much. So I think the ability to not overthink and overanalyze things. Obviously, we have to be very precise. We have to be very meticulous. But there's a difference between being meticulous, weighing out your food, and being over analytical with how you perform in a movement or whatever else like that. You know what I mean? There's a difference between being accurate, meticulous, and then just overthinking, over stressing, right? I think the ability to detach in a way is a very undervalued trait of a bodybuilder, because I definitely stress too much. And for me, if I could be more relaxed and less stressed, I know that is the one major unlock for me to make more progress. I try and work on it every single day, but it's just not the way I am as a person. So I feel like that's probably the biggest thing more than anything that holds me back, where there's other people who are very laid back, they don't stress at all, but maybe they're so laid back, they're not on it with their food or their, do you know what I mean? Right. So like you have different people. Like sometimes I look at some people and go, fuck, I wish I could just kind of be as chill about the process as they could. They'd probably look at me and be like, fuck, I wish I could be like as
that locked into that. Like the one thing for, like, as you're saying there, like where I know like it stresses so many people, where I just don't give a shit about, is these Aura rings. I don't give a shit what it tells me about my sleep or my readiness or anything like that. Like I just wear it because I like to see it. Like if I see that low sleep score and like that, I don't let it dictate anything of me. Like I won't let that stress me out. Like there's so many little variables on it. Like, would you be like that then? Like, say if you're meticulous,
no, not with the Aura ring. My sleep and my readiness says I've had the best readings there this morning that I've had in fucking ages, but I feel like I'm hit by a fucking bus. Like, do you know what I mean? So the only thing I actually really use the ring for is like the timing of my sleep. So making sure my schedule is consistent and making sure my deep and REM sleep scores are high. I kind of ignore the readiness, ignore the HRV.
HRV and readiness.
Anyway, never really look at that. Rest and heart rate, I kind of ignore that or take it with a pinch of salt as well, to be perfectly honest. I'm kind of like, you know, I diet and I'm like, oh, my rest and heart rate's dropped 10 beats per minute the last 4 weeks. That's interesting. But I don't like,
Yeah, don't allow them control.
I used to definitely stress about it a lot more than I do now, but I'm not too analytical with those things. I think actually there's a lot of things that I have let go of a lot more in the last couple of years bodybuilding. Like over time, I'm getting, I don't want to say looser with certain things, but I'm getting more relaxed with things I used to put more emphasis on, let's say. And I definitely
Yes.
like that's helped my progress.
It's kind of if you like, would you rather be in that position, like 90% locked in and like continue what you're doing with the way your mindset is, or like, or if you went 100%, because like if you're 100% for year on year, and if say something stresses you, it's probably going to like cause a lot more issues.
I'll give you an example, right? I'll go back to what we were talking about at the start of the podcast today, right? I was trying to force myself to go into the gym to train today, and it was causing me so much stress that I was like, I need to not train because I'm just stressing myself out here. That sounds ridiculous, right? But I needed to just relax, because I was like, I have to be perfect. I have to get back in the gym. I have to get back on track now today. This was supposed to be my plan today. That was, we're back in the gym and everything was going to be perfect. And, you know, we're back in the routine, whatever. But it's like, but you go into the gym and I train and I smash and I have a shit session and it's just going to make things worse. It's just like, like maybe I felt so fucking fatigued today because I was just stressing about being so perfect and wanting to get back into things so quickly. So like sometimes for me, like I need to just take a step back and be like, oh, it's grand if you just miss a day. It's not going to kill you. You know, or it's grand if you push things out a bit.
Your bicep for missing a fucking day of training. And
Yeah.
that's something like a lot of clients, like, you know, if they are like on prep, and even if it's not a deload, if they have some level of sickness, and if they have to be out of the gym for 3 or 4 days, like they honestly think they're going to wither away, or they're going to like, oh, my glutes won't come in.
You're not going to lose your progress if you don't.
No, you're not going to, because like, as you said there, like you've took a deload, you're taking another one there now. Like if you mapped your prep, like what would be interesting would be how many days have you taken off in your whole of prep?
Man, it's so funny, right? Like speak to Kuba about me, okay? Because he literally says to me, he coaches me completely differently than he coaches anyone else. It's like, it seems like the less I do, the more happens. Like he bumped my food up 500 and I've dropped 2 kilos in the last 2 weeks. The 2 weeks before that, I was eating lower food. My weight didn't move at all. 500 calories less food. It's like, there's like my body needs to be happy or something like that. He told me, he's like, we need to trick you into getting a response sort of thing. So he's like, timing is everything. So right now, I feel like he's waiting to push me on a little bit, but he needs to wait until I'm back in a really good position where like I feel really good, really low, my fatigue has dropped, and then he can pull things down. So if he tries to pull things down now, it's like I just burn out like really quickly or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's weird. It's like, it just seems to be like the less I fucking do, the more happens. Do you know what I mean? Which is annoying because I want to be doing loads. Do you know?
You
It just doesn't work for me.
Or you stress wise, like, oh, like you've got a lot better over the past couple of years.
I know.
Because mate, like I've lived with Dara a couple of times in terms of like, you know, for a couple of days and 1 week here and there.
You can't compare a few days out me, you know, Mac, to
Mate, fuck me.
I'm bad.
Is it worse than a needy girlfriend?
It's not like that, Mike. I'm just really intense. I'm just
like
really...
Dara.
Yeah. I was just trying to get what kind of level it was, like if you were like the final few days, like what you were like.
There's not many people I would stay, like Dara is like one of my favorite people to be around. There's not many people I would stay in a house with, right?
Yeah.
But like we just click, but like I do sit there and look at him like, Dara, what the fuck are you doing? And he's just running around and like I'm just like, maybe sit down.
Mark told me so many times. He tells me so many times, anytime, just relax, just sit down. Just
Dara, are you the type that'll be pacing up and down the room? Like I'm just
I can't sit still, right? I can't sit still, and I as well. Like my NEAT is probably like 2x times as high as everyone else because I'm so fidgety. I'm always moving. I can't, even when I'm like I'm fucked. I can't sit still for too long. I almost like get anxious or something like that if I stay still for too long. And Joe, especially when you're at the end of prep, you are tired, you are fatigued, and that kind of makes you feel a little bit crappy for yourself. So for me, I need to keep my mind busy.
Yeah.
And so I just, I find it hard to just kind of relax.
I think at the end of a prep, it is a lot worse for everyone. I think that's the part of a prep, the only part of a prep that I really struggle with. I get into this position at the last few weeks and I just cannot stop. I'm just like in a tunnel. I sit down for 2 minutes. I'm doing stuff that's due in 4 weeks. You know what I mean? It's like, that's like you all the time, Dara.
Yeah. Oh, genuinely. That is like me. That is like me all the time. And I feel like then it's like sometimes the better things are going, the more things I have to do, the busier I am. That nearly spirals and gets so out of control that something that should be a positive nearly comes into a negative because I just can't switch off so much. Do you get me? So yeah, and I'm aware of it, and I try and work on it, but like it's fucking
Well, at the same time, it's also why you keep moving forward the way you do as well.
exactly. Do you get me?
So,
So,
Yeah.
pros and cons to it, like
the things that you look at that you may like want to improve, realistically, mate,
It's what
they
pushes
are
forward.
sort of taking you to here as well. So it's a double edged sword.
Chris Williamson talks about this a lot. He talks about this in his podcast, and he's wrote about it in his newsletter as well. There's almost like this paradoxical thing, right? It's like, let's say, for example, people who, oh, my parents never believed in me when I was younger and it caused all this damage, etc., etc. But that made them work really hard to prove them wrong and achieve all these things, right? There's like this paradoxical thing. It's like, yes, all the bad things that happen to you or all the bad traits that you have or whatever, right, that you think are bad, they've actually had massive positives without you realizing it. It's like, look at every fucking high achiever ever as well. It's like, you look at like the Michael Jordan example too, right? Just wanted to impress his dad. His dad's just super hard now. Just wanted to impress him. Becomes the best basketball player of all time, right? People have a chip in their shoulder. People have childhood trauma, they have PTSD, they have whatever, and then they go on to achieve all these things, right? Most people who are fucking billionaires are just really insecure people with zero self-esteem. They become billionaires, probably have less self-esteem than they did beforehand. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it does force you to achieve a lot of things, but you just have to manage it. You just have to know how to find the balance, don't you?
I've like a weird mindset as well where when I feel myself getting too comfortable, I want something bad to happen. So when something bad happens, I'm like this is shit.
Back in.
Fuck me, I can't like it just it propels you forwards. You just use that as fuel to move forward. So I think a lot of people will again be pulled down by something. It almost just slingshots me forwards.
This is what I spoke to you about recently, Mark, in private as well. Like at the moment, I feel like, fuck, I've got like just everything's in such a good spot now at the moment. And I just want to change it all. And I just want to just do something completely different. Because I'm too comfortable. Do you know? I just feel like I kind of have this thing in the back of my head. I'm like, fuck, I should be incredibly happy with just everything right now. But there's something that's just telling me you need to do something drastic. You need to make a change. You need to just like change your environment, get a challenge, do something scary, because I just feel like I need to do it.
Dara to men's physique.
Yeah. I'm putting on the board shorts and I'm putting the DNP in tomorrow, and I'm really cutting. I wonder what my men's physique cap actually is. Let me see, right?
Just for the joke, yeah, and it's just for the shit.
Yeah, men's physique 181 centimeter weight cap. I'll have to look up NPC. I wonder will they tell me that on the old AI there.
That is it.
All right, let me just see here. So 5'11 and a quarter. Maximum stage weight 89 kg. Fuck, that's low, isn't it?
89
kg.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's
what's the classic cap? 98, is it?
98.4 is my classic.
It's like 9 kilo, fucking like 20 pounds.
That's wild. I didn't realize it was that light.
Thought it'd be like 94, I was thinking in my head.
I thought it would be, like maybe 4 or 5 kg, like 10 pounds less than classic. But that's 9.4 kg, like. So I haven't, even when I competed in Ireland that time, Mark, I wasn't even 89 kg. I was withered away to nothing then.
God's sake. Jeez.
No, I'm like, yeah, you wanna fucking just stop training legs, just chop them off.
Just literally chop them off.
Much. It's fucking wild. Jesus sakes. So I don't think
sorry for all the men's physique boys out there, but fuck me, that makes me realize how small all you motherfuckers are.
Oh, there's a clip. There's a clip up. Stop that one up. Hey, Dara, that's a reel for you now, midweek now, sitting on your pec deck, fucking. I know, fucking hell. Yeah, but at least we know, like, that's not going to happen now. So, like, no men's physique for Dara. So,
My men's physique dream is over basically after finding out what my weight cap is. Yeah, that's very disappointing. But um, it is what it is.
What's your plans this week?
Oh, just nothing. Hopefully, I don't think I have any plans.
No.
Yeah, no plans.
I'm quiet as well. I have a wedding to go to the following week. So, as you said, like, I've to go to Ireland every month for the next 4 months or 5 months, like at least one trip to Ireland. So, I want a quiet, just good week coming, just train, sleep, recover. That's it. What about you, Mark?
The best weeks, man.
No, what's
Very
your?
best.
You're not being recruited to the Taliban.
No, not just yet.
Not yet.
I might have to put on my, my camouflage and go to war soon, but for now I'm okay.
Good. What's yours? Just train, usual, just.
Yeah, I don't have anything planned. Train, work. Honestly, I'm not doing anything. I actually have to book my flights home for the end of April, so I'll actually do that tomorrow. Have to get refunds for fucking the flights for your sister as well, but that should be fine because obviously all flights are being cancelled and stuff. So, but yeah, that's all I really have to do.
Nice one. I actually had something. One of the lads, like, I know this could be a quick if we have like 5-10 minutes maybe. I know it's getting late there now, but one of the lads I'm prepping, like, like, I prepped a lad a few years ago, and like we're going into another prep, and we're just kind of talking about like the mindset and getting him ready for this prep because like it was his first one then, and he's just kind of telling me like the mistakes that he would have made, and he's telling me there like he goes, I never told you this, but on show day morning, like when we did a show 3 years ago, so this guy now wasn't really taking like enough. Do you know sometimes what you tell a client, like, like put your salt through your meals, like whatever, like have your 8-10 grams or whatever, pink low salt. So he wasn't taking his salt in his meals like through the whole of prep to the level he should have. And then when we're coming into peak week, I'm just kind of reminding him that, okay, this is per meal, you do this. Yeah, I'll get on this. And then he found out like he didn't like having like 1 to 2 grams of salt on his food. He didn't like the taste of it. So, like, like, look, it's a weird, like for us, we find this weird. But what he ended up doing on show day morning, like I might have said, like, have 2 grams of salt in your first meal, or I can't remember what, I'd have to look back on the messages because he was just telling me. So what he did was he goes, oh, I don't want to put 2 grams into, say, like with rice cake and jam or whatever. So he came up with a clever idea of getting skins because like he'd had skins with it, he'd smoke. So he wrapped it up like he was like some like cocaine into it. So like he wrapped up it, 2 grams of salt into a skin and swallowed it. But he didn't have a precision scale, so he probably would have used one of the thicker scales. So do you know the way they don't really count? Like you could put 2 grams on it, might not even start counting yet. So he probably put a load of extra salt on this, so he swallowed it back in a skin. But then it must have, what the skin absorbed and the salt just hit him. He said he was sitting there, and about 3-4 minutes later, he projectile vomited for 15 minutes all over an Airbnb, on a couch, on a wall. He was just vomiting because
he must be dry to the bone on stage, was he?
Oh man, he's just said like I've never heard someone do that before. Like when he was just telling me, he said he thought he came up with a proper prep hack. Was
That's
like
funny.
like, and he told me he got sick for about 15 minutes. He just said he
a fairly fucking weak stomach, because if you're doing a fucking bomb of MD, sure, that fucking shit will cut your stomach way more.
Oh, stop. I know. Like, just when he said it to me, like, he was telling me the story the other day, he said, like, I don't know, he must have had like 4 or 5 grams of salt in, or whatever way it just went. It was just laughing at it. I was like, oh man, you're just a mad bastard making a bomb of salt and like thinking it'd be a prep hack. So I just remembered that because I was just wondering, has anyone ever done anything, or why he'd vomit so much from all that. Like,
I have a couple of funny stories from preps. One of them wasn't a client, right? There's a guy who used to train with called Wally. Okay, honestly, trained with. Neither of you know Wally. I don't think.
I never heard the name. Wally.
I trained with him in like my 2019 prep in Gym X in Dublin. Unreal. But I remember he was prepping, right, and he was like, yeah, when I'm hungry, I just eat bananas, And I was like, what do you mean you eat bananas? He was like, yeah, when I'm hungry, like I was like, but there's calorie. He had a coach at the time, but I goes, "Is your coach know?" He was like, "No, but like it's fruit, so like you know, there's no calories, so I just have banana." And my mind was blown. I was like, "Man, that's calories."
Mate, you
20 grams of carbs.
during my first prep, right? So I used to train in the morning time, right? So I get up and I train at 7 o'clock in the morning. And my post-workout meal was Cocoa Pops with a banana and a protein shake, right? And I remember I used to be so fucking hungry that I'd wake up in the middle of the night with hunger pains. And sometimes I used to go out, eat the 100 fucking grams of banana and go back to bed. And then the next day I'd be like, I've no banana for my Cocoa Pops. But I'd have it at like 3 o'clock in the morning so I could go back to bed. And I did that so many nights, man. I ended up having like a midnight meal. It was just a banana. Because I remember when I was younger as well, my mom telling me bananas are good for helping me go to sleep. You know the way like oats have like natural melatonin release in them and stuff like that. So I just got this thing into my head, like, you know, but to be fair, it was a good psychological trick because it felt like there was something in my stomach because my stomach, like hunger pangs were so extreme that if I got up and ate the banana, just fucking boom, straight back to sleep. There you go, guys. If you're struggling with the hunger on prep, there's a hack for you, but just make sure you take it from your food the next day or defeat
That's probably what people won't do it. They'll fall asleep and they'll fucking, oh, I didn't have it, or it was a dream.
It's hilarious, isn't it? When I like really, I don't want to say like lifestyle clients, but let's just say like Gen Pop kind of people, and they're like, is fruit not bad for you because like there's a lot of sugar in it? Oh, and like the dairy milks that you're eating every single day, are they bad for you? Like, fuck, hey, hearing that shit, like, it's fucking so retarded, isn't it?
Stop. I know. You know, just then as well, I was told this story during the week. It's only a quick one now. Do you remember last podcast we were on about like clients cutting their own calories or doing their own kind of things? So I was chatting to a guy, videographer fella, and he was just telling me that he went to Spanish, the Emperor Pro a few years ago with classic physique competitors, and he was filming for a guy. And he said, this guy now, obviously I won't say the name on here now, but he was filming for a guy and he was doing his pro debut. He was doing a pro debut, or it was his second show, I can't remember. But he wanted to bring a really, really good look. So his coach was over there with him. So your man was filming all the thing and like he was filming doing the check-in. But the coach told him what meal to go and have. And then when they were walking out of the apartment, your man goes to the videographer and goes, right, you're not recording anything next. What we're doing is we're going to Burger King. We're getting 2 burgers. We're getting chips. But he said, I want to make sure I'm full as fuck on stage. So he went against the coach's plan, ate burger, fries, all that, went back for a check-in later. And then the coach was looking at him going, there's something off here. He goes, did you get rice, chicken, everything in there? And he's like, yeah, I had all the meals. Went on stage the next day. He had more food that night. Like he kind of did his own kind of protocol because he didn't trust the process, that he wanted to make sure he was full. Came 15th out of 16 on his pro debut. Just because, and this is a pro, this is like when we were saying, like we might have been poor saying about lifestyle clients. So I was just making the point that I was told a story that there's pro level people still not listening. So like, again, it's crazy just even think.
I would actually say they're probably the people who are not listening the most, because when they get to that level, they start to become a little bit too big for the boots and think, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. I know my body, etc., etc. So I'm not going to listen to my coach. And then they just fucking wing it, don't they?
I know, like, but just stuff like that, like, it's just crazy. Like when you do, like, as we said, like throwing in foods like that, like on literally 6 hours out or 10 hours out.
Just the unpredictability of it, like, you know.
I know. Well, that's the crack with them stories. Just so that's all the news I have anyway.
I don't think I have any. Even one that just pops my mind actually, and we'll finish up on this. So I remember, sometimes you get your clients to like send you pictures of meal, right?
Yeah. When you don't trust them.
I had a client years ago. He's like, meals all prep for tomorrow, right? And you know, I had 100 grams of pineapple with like chicken rice meal or whatever. He had the pineapple, a full pineapple, right? Cut up into quarters. Okay. So he had, you know, like a slice of melon that you'd have like this, right? Where like the skin is on the outside, right? It was like the skin of the pineapple and the big stalk sticking at the top of it. And it was in the lunchbox with the chicken and rice for him. So it's like he just like got the top of it, or maybe got the spike bit and turned it upside down and just cut the pineapple into 4s and must have eaten the pineapple out of the fucking thing. Oh man. And you know, like the edge of the pineapple is all like there's bits, like you have to, like when you're cut a pineapple, you have to like scrape all the outside out. So I'd say he was picking pineapple from his teeth like a fucking thing of corn.
That's you know what, you make me even remind that. I remember I had a female client years ago and she wanted melon as well on her plan. So I think put 100 gram of melon or something. I can't remember whatever it was. But then she ended up sending me, she bought a fucking huge ass melon and then she literally sent me a picture and goes, how do you expect me to eat all of this in one sitting? Because she took the thing as she has to eat a full melon every time like that. Like, do you know when you get it wrong? Because I think she did it for a day or two and she told me, she goes, why are you making me eat a full melon? And I was like, it's 100 gram. And she just after, she was like, oh, I just thought it meant one melon. And I was like, you
Oh, that
big bitch.
that happened to me with a kite before as well, right? So I had 100 grams of oats, right? 30 grams of whey, 100 grams of berries, and 20 grams of dark chocolate. Pretty standard.
Consistent kind of standard meal, yeah.
Standard meal, right? Whatever way he was looking or reading the meal plan, right? He thought it was 100 grams of everything. So he texted me one day and he was like, these oats are like really like stodgy and chalky. Like, what way do you make them? And I was like, oh, this is the way I make them, bro. Like, have you been making them in the microwave? Yeah, that's your issue. Make them like this. This is how I make them with the kettle, etc., etc. Right? Comes back to me the next day, like, these oats are like, they're just really chalky or something. And what's wrong with them? And I was like, mate, can you, like, use a different protein powder or something? What protein powder to use, right? Whatever, right? Text me in the next day. And he goes to me, do you normally mix the 100 grams of dark chocolate in or do you eat it on the side? I find it's a lot. And I just goes, what? So I found out he was having 100 grams of oats with 100 grams of protein, right? And he was eating a fucking full bar of dark chocolate.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh, gosh.
You forget all these little things, like, as well, that sometimes when the clients do, because, like, as you just said that as well, going through that, I had a girl on prep and her, obviously, female bikini girls end up going low on food. Her meal plan was 30 grams of, like, uncooked rice. But she read it as cooked weight.
Yeah,
so
man.
30 gram of cooked rice in 2 meals a day. And that's the equivalent to what, like 9 or 10 gram of...
In 10 to 12, probably.
10, 12 gram of uncooked rice.
Imagine a little tiny bit on your plate.
It'd be like getting the chopsticks and just taking 1 grain at a time.
Because she didn't say it to me for I think it was 2 or 3 weeks. And then she said it to me. She was going, like, Mike, I can't hack 30 gram cooked weight rice. So I was like, what are you on about? She sent me a picture of her meal. And honestly, it was just this little kind of like pea-sized serving.
It's funny you say 30 grams, Mike, because that is for everything. Oats, rice, like pasta. That's the lowest that I'll go portion size. Once something goes 30 grams, I don't even bother putting it in. 20 grams of rice, I don't bother putting in. So I'll just remove the carbs at that stage.
Yeah. That's it. Like, and like the only thing you can kind of move, like, obviously move rice to potato. Like, you can probably, like, obviously for carb content, you can kind of
100 potatoes.
There's no point in fucking going, like you said, 20 grams of. Like, I remember there was a bikini girl, I didn't coach her, but I remember seeing on a story, I think she had 20 grams of oats was one of her pre-workout meal.
You're better off just having literally, instead of 20 grams of oats, you're better off having 200 grams of strawberries or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's more volume and it's better.
To be honest, I don't even go below 40. I think, like, even 30 grams of oats, it's really fucking, it's not going to do much for you.
No, like, go on.
I had a funny one before as well. So I was working with a client for, like, it was months, and it's actually when I was once-one PTing, and he came in one day with his post-workout. I was like, what are you going to do? Are you, like, so it says something like, wait, what are you going to use to mix that? I was like, Cocoa Pops. He's like, what do you mean? He was like, I just eat them. I was like, what do you mean you just eat them? And he was like, I just eat them dry. Oh, my mind was... He's like, he goes, it's okay, I've been doing it for the past 3 months.
Wait, that's happened to me. I'm not joking. That has happened to me with multiple clients. That has happened to me with about 4 people. The same thing, eating dry Cocoa Pops. I'm really struggling with this. What's the story? So, and here's the mind-blowing thing, right? Someone is drinking a protein shake on the side and eating Cocoa Pops.
Dry.
Does it not compute all the meals I always build for people on their plan? You're meant to like blend them together. Do you know what I mean? It's like, do you think if I give you like chicken, rice, and olive oil, you're drinking a shot of olive oil on the side? Like, nah, just mix it in, bro. You know.
But
the impressive thing is, though, he didn't even mention it. He was just cracked on.
raw dogged it. That's what you want.
Yeah, love it. Didn't even complain.
Dry fucking chalk coming out of the mouth.
There, you know, them little things, like, they're the best parts. These are little things you remember. And even sometimes, you know, when someone, like, I remember, like, just even questions, like, the one that always stick out to me is a client that literally, like, he was going food shopping, and it's like, Mike, what's the difference between a white potato and baby potato? Like, literally on that night. Do you know when I got so confused? Like, I thought there was something wrong with me for a minute. I remember just texting back, right, the size, question mark.
I will actually tell you one difference. Digestibility. Baby potatoes ruin my digestion. White potatoes don't. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I don't know what it is. And I
Never
always
noticed that
surprised
myself.
when they're having digestive issues and I have white potato on the pan, I say, what potatoes are you having? I bet you're having baby potatoes. And they go, yeah. Because people get baby potatoes because they're more convenient. Sometimes you can get the microwave packs and they're easy to chop up. But I'm telling you, they fuck your stomach. Don't know what it is.
Never noticed it. I don't know.
Normal white potatoes are like, they're fluffier, they cook better. There's something wrong with baby potatoes. They're different. So yeah. But I get what you mean, Mike. They're technically the same, but yeah.
No, that was just it, because, like, it was just, I was getting confused at that stage as well. Like, you know, when you get little things like that, and, like, even there, like, I think, I don't know, like, you'd see, like, I've never had it, but you'd see sometimes online that, like, coaches or someone would put up that the client would ask, like, how am I meant to eat 100 grams of raw chicken? Do you know that kind of way? And it's like, do you know, on the plan it says 100 grams raw chicken. You're like, it's a really an American thing. You'd see, like, oh my God.
Yeah, but at the same time, right, when you think back to when we remember, like, when you first started,
I knew Mark was going to say the nice guy thing, but no, sorry, Mark. The common sense needs to exist as well. Like, when I first started, I wasn't that fucking retarded. I'm going to be
not retarded in terms of that, but, like, you know, the way, like, you literally had, no, this isn't even to do with, like, making them, but do you know the way you had no clue about nutrition?
I can give it a point here about no clue. When I was like 15 or 14 and I looked at my physique and I said I need to grow my arms because I was a skinny fucker. I used to think that, like, obviously this is before we had any kind of internet and that. When my mom used to make my dinner, say if I played football, so I might have had bacon and cabbage after a match, and I'd be a big portion of food. And, like, we all know how good bacon and cabbage is, but what I used to do is I used to think, I'd say, I'm going to chew all my food on, like, this side of my mouth and try and swallow it down this side, so it might go to my arms and build my arms up more. I honestly thought that when I was like 14 or 15 for a while.
You know, when you're that age, it's like when you watch a cartoon. That's like,
yeah.
Like,
I can't remember where this clicked or something said, but I used to try and swallow, and I swallowed it. You try and pull it down and hope it was going into my arms or something.
It's like Popeye with the spinach.
With the spinach, like, that's probably, or something. I don't know what it was, but I remember being about 14, and that was
Or
like,
your man telling you, like, eat your carrots so you can see in the dark. That's the one vegetable I used to eat when I was younger, because obviously when you're younger, right, you're obsessed with superheroes and comic books and things of that nature, playing video games. The one vegetable that I used to eat when I was younger was carrots, because I thought it was going to make me see in the dark.
Yeah. Did you do anything stupid like that, Mark? Like what I did? Not to that level.
Oh, geez, like, I can't even remember. I just remember, like, having zero clue, like, starting off. Like, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. And I remember one day I was training in the gym for like a few months, and well, for longer than a few months. And then I read a quote once, right? And obviously, it's, you can't out-train a bad diet. And for some reason, like, as soon as I read it, I was like, oh, like, of course, it clicked. So that day, I went on to, I don't know, bodybuilding.com or something, and I literally got a list of, like, bodybuilding foods, and I sent them to my mom. She was out. I was like, Mom, can you go to the shop and get this? And she came back, and that was a Sunday night. And on the Sunday, I got the bodybuilding foods, and I made meals out of them for the next day. And I made my own little meal plan, and I was like, right, let's just put structure in here, and let's see what happens. And that was literally it. And I remember the foods. It was like sweet potato, quinoa, cottage cheese, tuna, and I was eating like 500 grams of cottage cheese that night before bed, because the slow release of protein.
The casein protein.
Well,
I would say the biggest, the dumbest kind of thing that I would have done when I started off was, like, I got so easily led by all the marketing stuff, buying the test boosters, buying the tablets of CLA and L-carnitine and all this stuff for fat loss. I wasted so much, and back then I was broke. I wasted so much money getting supplements that didn't work. That was one of the things that I was very just easily led with. And these days, guys just think, like, oh, steroids are just the new fucking supplement, aren't they, right? At least they fucking work. CLA doesn't. But anyway, I would say that. And my first 2 months in the gym, I didn't grow all that much. I got much leaner, but I thought, right, when I started in the gym, I need to eat healthy. So I was having 2 meals of chicken and lettuce every single day because I thought this will get me big. It's healthy. And it wasn't until my mom went into the protein shop in town to get me whey protein that your man behind the counter asked my mom, what is he trying to do? And then she said, he's trying to bulk up. He said, this is what
Marines mass.
mass gainer, right? And then
Yes.
she told me that. I went into him in the shop to speak to him because my mom was unsure. She didn't want to buy it, right? Because if she bought me the wrong thing, I would have went mad at her, okay? And then I went in and I had a chat with this fella in the shop. And he's like, you need to be eating, bro. You need to be like, you need to like eat food. After that, I just started horsing as much chicken and rice into me as I could. I just fucking blew up, you know? But that was about 2 months in. But I think training wise, I was very, very structured from the beginning because I read quite a lot when I was young. Like I've got this massive chest at home, guys, like literally the size of my desk here, and it's full to the top of books. Like I used to read so much. Anytime I wanted to know something, that's what I always deferred to because that's kind of what I knew. So second I started in the gym, I was like, right, I need to look stuff up online about this. And I was straight onto the forums, straight onto bodybuilding.com, T Nation, straight onto YouTube. Because I've been on YouTube as well before people even knew about YouTube or used it. Like I used to be watching YouTube videos back in like fucking 2000.
Got Herman days. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back. Yeah. Back then it was like the Hodge twins were big. Your man Scooby was big. Atlee Next was like one of the first guys as well. Scott Herman. Yeah. Who else was
There was
era?
Mike. He was an Asian guy.
Yes.
I forget his fucking name.
His name.
And
there were 2 things I used to do, right? There was an 8-minute ab workout, and I think it was either Scott Herman or the guy Mike who had a video. I used to always do that. And then before I actually got into the gym, there was a thing called Insanity. I don't know if anyone remembers it.
I do,
Yeah, man. And you used to order it, and it used to come like as a DVD or a case or something.
Yeah.
I remember doing that, and it was like mad, like circuit class. I was doing it like it was on the TV, and you'd follow along. And I used to think like these guys were shredded. I was like, great, I just have to do this to get shredded. You just believe anything.
And I always tell this story, like the gym I started training in, they sold Optimal Nutrition Protein, and there was a big poster up on the wall of Steve Cook on the Optimal Nutrition Protein. So I looked up Steve Cook online, and I found Steve Cook's bodybuilding.com diet. And that's what I did. Like, that's what I followed. Because I was like, I want to look like this guy. Back then, that was like, wow, I was like, that's my dream because that's exactly what I want to look like. Do you know? So that's just how it started. And then Matt Oakes was big back then.
Chris
Lovato, they were like 2 of the guys, natural bodybuilding guys back then that were like really big.
We could actually do like nearly a whole podcast talking about stuff like this, mate.
We could.
Because there's so much to say, but we've been on for so long.
Yeah, we'll have to wrap it up now. Maybe we'll kick off with that the next day. So
there's so many stories, mate, that I have. One, well, I'll finish with this one, right?
Yeah.
It was so I remember that I done. There was Maxi Muscle, I think, the brands, and there was a protein called, I think, Cyclone, right?
Yeah.
So there was this. It was called Cyclone, and on the thing it was like advertised. There was like 5 grams of creatine in it or something, right? And I remember I got it, and I remember my first shake and everything, like where I was sitting in my house and everything. And I remember drinking it, and I was like drinking it. I was like, I feel this. I feel the creatine doing something.
I remember it's so funny when we were in secondary school. People like anyone who started going to the gym or something, he's taking creatine. His arms are full of water. You'd be all saying that, like, you're all water boy on that.
Yeah.
It was so funny how creatine was viewed back then, wasn't it?
I know.
Hilarious, man. Like, that's just such different times. Kids these days will never understand what that era was like. That era was peak, though. YouTube fitness back then was just
YouTube. Long live Zyzz. That's all we'll say.
Zyzz, bro. And again, that's how I remember. There's lads like 2-3 years older than me from Artfinnan, like from the village I was from. And I remember like back then Instagram was just starting to kind of pop off in like 2013-ish time. And they were hashtagging Zyzz on like all their posts. I was like, what the fuck is this Zyzz buzz about? And I looked it up and then found all the Zyzz videos. And I was like, this was before I even started lifting as well. You know? So the Zyzz thing was actually like a massive fucking...
It was a movement.
Inspiration for me as well. Have the tattoo, don't you?
Yeah, it's similar, not the same as his, but that was the inspiration. Like I didn't get the same wording. I got a different wording, but it was literally, where's it there? Like it's his style, like
I
different
thought you had the
meaning.
Benny Vidi Vici.
No, it's a similar, just a similar meaning. Like mine is always towards better things. Whereas like I just didn't want he came, he saw, he conquered. I wanted something similar, but that was the Zyzz kind of inspiration.
I wanted to get that. I was nearly.
Oh, I was going to, but I just didn't want to for that reason. I said, oh, I just don't, because I seen so many people getting it. I was
I'm
like,
kind of glad now that I didn't, like, because I really wanted
yeah.
it.
Yeah, but it would be fucking iconic as well. Like looking back, that Zyzz bringing us into this.
If you're watching this and you haven't watched Zyzz before, type him in on YouTube and watch the OG video.
Yeah.
That was like inspiring when we were kids.
I remember, like, just even to finish it, I remember going on like some nights out, like just at that end, like putting on Zyzz, like before going out, just getting that inspiration for him, just going on a night out. So he was such a mad bastard.
I used to have those like Zyzz stringers as well.
Yeah, the yellow one with
I
the.
never had one of them.
There was like a blue and a red. There was some mad ones. Yeah.
I had a yellow one, a Zyzz yellow one. Yeah.
I'll never forget. Like Avicii was on. This was like 2014, and like me and the boys went into like Clonmel Park Hotel, which was where the bus was leaving from for Avicii. We went in, fucking hit a big pump session, and like put on our tank tops and just straight out of the gym, straight into the bus. Bombs empty at 9 o'clock in the morning, off up to Avicii. Peak times.
It really is.
Yeah. And on that bombshell, guys, we'll leave that there.
Right
So if you haven't heard of the Zyzz Revolution, get to know. Look it up there, Zyzz the Legacy. We'll catch back up next week for some reeling in the years. We should probably do a segment maybe every single time where we do a little bit of a throwback like that. We should get something in every episode that's like a segment. So do you know the way like the big dog casts have like their gripes? We need to try and come up with something that we can go to every single episode that the viewers can kind of chime in on, and we can get a recurring kind of a theme going. I think that'd be a good idea. Any suggestions, guys? Drop them in the comments down below if you've made it this far.
Right.
All right, we'll wrap that up. Thank you all for listening / watching, and we'll catch you next week.